back to For Real. It is Wednesday, and that means it's time for the News Moto, where you get to watch footage of a ride in Cambodia, and I will update you on the news. This week, our ride takes us from Siem Reap in the direction of Bantay Chamar. On Sunday, I put out the first video in our Bantay Chamar series. The link will be below if you haven't watched it yet. As you'll see, it was a hugely fun and adventure-filled ride. The next part of the series will be out on the weekend. At For Real, we donate all of the money we earn from YouTube to charities in Cambodia. Here's the total we've donated so far. It is thanks to you that we can do this. But how? YouTube converts the time you spend watching our videos into a dollar amount, and each month they deposit that money into our account. It's a bit more complicated than I'm making it sound, but that's the general idea. There are just 13 days left to donate to Heartprint's Match It May campaign. Every donation made throughout May will be matched by partners just like us. We've contributed $800 for the matching. We're looking forward to presenting them with a novelty check at the end of the month. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. And before we get started, a quick plug about the new channel we've got going, which is called Riel Global. Yes, Jeremy has finally finished the first ever episode, and it's now over there ready for you to enjoy. The link for that will also be down below. Riel Global is going to be another way we can generate money for good around the world. Okay, let's get into the news. Today is Wednesday the 17th of May, and today we tally up some medals, report about a port, get scared by a scambulance, and duck for cover. First up, let's look at the medal tally for the 32nd Southeast Asian Games. Cambodia finished in 4th position overall with a haul of 280 medals, including 81 gold. Vietnam took out the top position, with Thailand in 2nd place and Indonesia coming in at 3rd. Cambodia has won a lot of praise from around the world for its organisation of the events. Cambodia did not ask for any fees from the athletes and sports delegates who participated at the Games. This shows that Cambodia might be a small country, but it has a big heart, or as the government slogan says, we can do. Not taking money from participating countries is a first for the Southeast Asian Games competition. A spokesperson for the Games said that the competition has elevated Cambodian athletes from regional competitors to players that can compete at the international level. Now to other sea-related news. The new cargo port in Kep is almost 70% complete. This port will facilitate the transportation of goods and agricultural products between Kep and Kampot, especially transporting raw materials to serve factories in Kampot. But unfortunately, the remaining construction will be postponed until 2024 due to some impacts. Unsure what that actually means. Hopefully those impacts can be resolved and the port finished sooner to help Kep and Kampot financially benefit. Now to something that's being fast-tracked, a new border checkpoint. The governors of Pusat province in Cambodia and Trat province in Thailand have pledged to open the Tamar Dar Bantar Sen International Checkpoint to increase trade and tourism between the two countries. The commitment was made during a courtesy meeting between the two governors, which took place during a 2-day visit to Trat by a delegation from the Pusat administration. Both sides have agreed that opening the checkpoint would benefit the trade of rice, cassava and fish, while also boosting tourism. Next, the saddest place to celebrate Mother's Day. The Ministry of Social Affairs, Veterans and Youth Rehabilitation has vowed to raise the living standards of children who live with their imprisoned mothers in the Kingdom's prison system. The ministry is working with the General Department of Prisons to ensure that the children will no longer stay in the prison. It is contemplating building a kind of separate village for them within the prison walls, so that at least they are not forced to share cells with their mothers. Currently, the prison system is overcrowded, so pregnant women or women with small children are extremely vulnerable to poor hygiene and food insecurity. They are also at increased risk of contracting infectious diseases or infections. According to the Ministry of Interior, in February 2019, there were around 170 mothers with children and 51 pregnant women in Cambodia's prisons. Now on to something else that also needs urgent attention. A recent waste summit that was themed Why Waste Separation Matters has issued calls for the public to pay closer attention to the correct disposal and separation of waste, which remains a major concern for Cambodia. A government report stated that the kingdom produces over 10,000 tonnes of solid waste per day, or 4 million tonnes per year. Much of this waste ends up in landfills, or worse, is disposed of in lakes and rivers, or burned. Luckily, the World Bank has approved a $60 million International Development Association credit to support the improvement of Cambodia's solid and plastic waste management. A project will be implemented by the Ministry of Interior, the Ministry of Environment, and the Ministry of Public Works and Transport. The project will provide greater access for households to regular waste collection. Through increased landfill, recycling, and composting capacity, there will be positive impacts on public health, the environment, and also tourism. Another huge problem facing Cambodia, and also the rest of the world, is poor air quality. 820 Cambodian farmers who have joined the IBIS rice program have stopped burning rice stubble in their paddy fields. Previously, it was standard practice across Cambodia for farmers to burn rice stubble after they'd harvested the fields. To address this, a campaign was run to raise awareness of the impacts and consequences of the burning. As an incentive, the IBIS rice program pays premium prices to farmers who grow organic rice and cease the practice of burning rice stubble. Post-harvest inspections are conducted by the team to make sure that the farmers are adhering to the principles of the program from January to February each year. That will be much appreciated for anyone who enjoys breathing clean air. Now on to some wedding crashes. 7 people were slightly injured after a car lost control, hit 5 other vehicles, and then ploughed into a wedding marquee. The incident took place in front of Morningstar Guest House on National Road 11 in Prey Veng Province. It appears that a vehicle lost control at high speeds and then smashed into a series of other parked vehicles, which caused a number of vehicles to shunt into the wedding tent. It's amazing that this doesn't happen all the time, but maybe, just maybe, that is why they have the music so loud. Now we have an only in Cambodia story. 2 scambulances operating illegally without a licence from the Ministry of Health were seized by authorities after relatives claimed that they had been extorted by the drivers. The seizure came after an incident at the Golden Horse traffic light in Khan Mien Che, where there was a traffic accident between a truck and a Honda Cube, causing a woman to die at the scene. Immediately afterwards, a private ambulance without the proper clinic logo transported the victim's body to her hometown in Takeo Province. The victim's relatives claimed that the ambulance extorted $450 from them, as they didn't authorise the driver to take the body in the first place. According to the driver, the cost of transporting the body to her hometown was $250, while the other $200 was for the cost of embalming the body. Lastly, a good news story if you're a duck. Access to the grasslands of protected areas in the Tonle Sap lowlands has been temporarily restricted as the breeding season of one of the world's rarest birds is currently underway. Bengal floricans are listed as critically endangered and breed from April to September each year. To be listed as critically endangered, there must be fewer than 1,000 individuals remaining, or estimated to be remaining. Environmental organisation Our Tonle Sap, which is funded by the EU and led by the Wildlife Conservation Society Cambodia, have put out a press release detailing the travel restrictions. Access to the grassland areas, excluding existing roads and trails in protected areas, is prohibited to avoid disturbing or destroying nests and eggs during the breeding season. The off-road or trail use of cars, motorbikes, or any other vehicles is strictly forbidden. The Ministry of Environment described Bengal florians as one of the most endangered species in the world. So for duck's sake, stay on the path. That brings us to the end of this week's news. You're now up to date with all of the most important events in the kingdom. Keep watching for a bit more of today's ride. Thank you so much, take care, have a great week, and we'll see you very soon.